What's up, guys? It's Monday night. It's paint night tonight. It's been a minute. Welcome back. We had some really fun things that actually has got me inspired to do something really different tonight. So we had Edson Campos here. A lot of you guys were here for that event. Oh my gosh, that was so much fun. We had a sketch night, we had a live model, and something that a lot of you guys don't know, that's where I started. I started with portraiture. So that really sparked that interest again. So we're gonna play around with some of that tonight. I think we actually have some footage from the Edson show. So here's what we had, guys. Check it out. This is the Edson Campos show. There's a Nair. Everybody was sketching. I love this. You didn't have to be a professional artist. That was the idea. I wanted to bring you guys into what we get to do, where it all develops. And you guys did an amazing job. It was so much fun to see you guys come together. It was so cool. Edson was walking around. There's that guy. He was trying to keep up. Look at that. Edson was going around teaching everyone how to do it. And then the show continued on back at our main gallery, and he created this amazing original. This was started at the show, and we got to watch this come to life. That's what I want to share with you guys. I want to share the creation process. There are so many new pieces. You guys were the first to see them, first to collect them. I love that we're able to do that for you guys. Because again, Edson, this is someone who's taken gold at the French Salon, one of the oldest competitions in the world, where a lot of the masters have showcased their works over the last 100 years. And here's your modern master, Edson Campos. I'm in awe just watching him. I love it. So, here we are, we're back. Again, something you guys don't know, the first thing I actually started painting was portraiture. And we actually, there was a small series that I had that was actually a huge hit for me. But at the time, it was just something I was kind of experimenting with. It was my ballerina series inspired by Degas. And so I think we have like Last Glance, or the red ballerina. Oh, actually there's a Degas. That's what started this all. Studying that, studying the light, studying how loose, how simple, how just what he did was so amazing. And you got to think why, right? He was, I believe, working live there, so you always had the uplit of the stage and these loose pastels that were so amazing. And there is one of my, that was the second piece I created, and here's what I love about it. I love the arms. There's such a huge Degas influence in there, but then I tried to bring a little bit of my realism, and I didn't even think about this. Let's go to the next one too. Here's monochromatic being born without me even realizing it before the black and whites. Two colors, one color and white, so that's why monochromatic. There's another one. This was me evolving, and here's my photorealism starting to come in here, but still balancing out with this kind of impressionistic style. And I've always wanted to come back to this. I've wanted to translate it into the seascapes, and I've wanted to do a series of this too. This might be it. I don't know. You guys might be watching this, the rebirth of this new style. Love to hear your feedback on it. Here's the piece that I was sketching during the show. I don't know if we can pull up the photo of an Nair who was there. She was our live model. There it is. She was perfect. She did such a great job. She has that classic Edson Renaissance feel. She did an amazing job. It was her first time ever modeling. Oh my gosh, she nailed it. And it was cool because we were able to capture that image. And then she came in the audience and created a sketch of herself too. And she actually did an amazing job. So you guys did great. Anera did great. Edson was amazing. And speaking of shows, the next show is going to be Stephen Courtley. I think there's Corley. I actually got to talk to him. He's gonna be on Paint Night tonight, this coming Thursday. So tune in for that. We will be really on time for that one. So that's gonna be 7:30 here on the East Coast. He's gonna be streaming in live from the West Coast. Right into that, you can comment and he will both be responding to your comments. Roman's here tonight. He's gonna be answering your comments. So how's it going, Roman?
Good, good. We got some people just sharing some love with you.
Already, the love's coming in. What's up, guys? Good to see you. So we're gonna have some fun tonight. Here is something really interesting. I was sketching alongside, right? So when you go to sketch, and this was live, this was hard, this was a real live model, and I think, we spent about maybe 45 minutes. This is how far I got in that 45 minutes. Normal painting, I'm gonna spend a few hours on something like this. And so there's tons of stuff I'd clean up if I were to really finish this piece. But this is the big difference between what I did and why I started painting. I love recreating, just creating a sketch. But in sketching, when I want to come in and work on something, you got this little tiny pencil that you are, coming in and slowly building things out, right? Which is awesome. We love this. This is so cool. But it's so slow, right? We're gonna build and build and build and then I'll come in. Tonight, I'm going to grab my brushes and I am so excited. There's so many things going on up here because the ballerinas that I just showed you, those were done, I wanna say in 2005. So 16 years later. That doesn't sound right, but that's right. 16 years later, it's gonna be really cool to take what I've learned. I literally have two of those originals. Yeah, 2005 on the date of that guy right there. And here's another one that was a work in progress. They're always work in progress, right? You guys see so many works in progress on the show. So she's really done, but this was the last ballerina that I did. And I've got both of them here and I'm staring at them and I'm like, who was that guy? I love the balance of how I created it, and coming back to it, I'm studying it. We set this up like an hour or two ago, and I've been staring at these originals going, how did I do that? Back then, those two were approached with just oil. Tonight, we're gonna try something new. We're gonna get a little funkier. I think we're gonna have some dripping and some crazy, cool, artistic stuff going on. I'm gonna start with acrylic. We might just stay with acrylic, or we'll bounce to oil after we lay that foundation in. I don't know, but there's something in here. I'm very excited about it. Like Edson awakened some ancient inner artistic creative mojo, and let's have some fun. Right in, let's see what you got. But I'm gonna go in here. The idea, the concept, those, I would say the loose purple, the blue, the red, not this one that was rendered, not this guy, but this other one. Back then I did those guys in like an hour and a half. That was amazing. You guys have seen me work on here and we take our time. I want to try to tap into that fast pace because there's a style that's born within that. And so we're gonna see how far we can get. I've cropped the image to create a unique composition. I think that's something new and different that is in my head. I like this because if I were to do the wider version, the face to me, would get lost within that. Now we're up close, we're personal, and I love that. So let's stop talking, let's start painting. Let's see what we got. I have something very washed out in my head where a lot of the white comes through. Very similar to the blue ballerina that we showed you. We're gonna be working with some French ultramarina. It's a creation night. We're gonna let loose. I think the challenge is I'm gonna treat this acrylic almost like watercolor. So what that means is watering this down to get these really lighter shades. And so that's what I'm doing on my palette right now. And I have to hold it flat or I'm gonna wear it because I have so much water on here. But I even told Mike, I was like, I gotta go with the big brush to start. So we're gonna block in, we're not gonna go for exact. Let's do this. Let's have some fun. So at this phase, there's tons of correcting we can do, but I'm looking for reference points, right? So you're gonna see me do a lot of plumb lines tonight, guys. That's where I will use my brush, hold it up to the canvas, and I'm trying to see where this meets and down here, like maybe, in this case, where the darkest point of her hair and the rest of her hair is. I hope you can see this because I'm working really light right now. But even her skin at this phase, I am just trying to block in the general shape of her. I'm trying to fill this thing in, actually stay loose, right? That's the secret to, I think, what's gonna happen here. Where's that shoulder land? And it doesn't go off the page. I even want to do some stuff like this. It's too bold, but maybe it's not. We'll come back, we'll play around with it. This is where I normally have a spray bottle. We didn't have one in the studio here. Oh, I like what's going on already. That's what I wanted. I wanted that water running. Oh, something's coming tonight, guys. This is new, it's gonna be awesome. Right? So what's cool, just some basic references. We can go any direction at this point because we're staying so loose. I want those drips in there, they can stay in there. But I also, one thing I saw in some of the Degas especially, was these shades and shadows, real loose. I don't want to take it all the way down. I want this to almost run off. Oops, it's running all over me. My palette's crazy right now. Cool, love it. Love it, love it, love it. All right, so, yes, yes, yes. All right, so we've blocked something out already, right? Here's my rule, guys. Start with the biggest brush that you can, and then cut that in half, and work until you can't work anymore, and then cut that in half, and just keep doing that so that you don't go straight to that detail. There will be a point where we're gonna start to sketch and really block things in, but for right now, what I'm doing is I want to get angles, I want to hit some values, I want some shapes. Man, she has something so unique going on here. There's gonna be a lot of cleanup that we do. There's such a neat angle going on right there. I might have to clean that up a bunch, right? That's okay. We're just getting some starting points, some reference points, and we're gonna build from there. Go fast. Go fast is what I'm telling myself again and again already. Cool, cool, cool. We're almost ready to start grabbing something and sketching, but I want to block. Again, I'm going to start finding my midway point. That chin is almost on the midpoint of the canvas, so let's add that reference. We were right there, so that's great, right? But then we've got hair. Where does it land? So I'm looking at my center. The eye lands on the center. The hair is right over to the right, so here's my center point. And so the hair is roughly here, here, here. Pay attention. Chin's here. What does the hair do at that point? These are those plumb lines I started to mention earlier. Cool. That being done and said, oh ho ho. Look at those dark values coming in already. Boom. What does this do in relevance to here? Now, don't be scared because we can always come back and reshape using the background, and we will probably do that. We've laid in, and we're just going to keep readjusting. It's almost like sculpting at this point. I love it so much. Man, cool. Nose, cheek, all right. Mouth. Trying to connect these dots here. Boom. Something on those lines. We have this here. This little hair is going to be a nice little reference point. Look how we're pulling hair with this huge brush. Something's already coming in. I almost feel like I don't have enough control anymore. So, what's that mean? Time to switch to a different size brush. So let's cut that guy in half. I want to stay with these brushes because I think I am. Look, okay. So look what we've cut down to. We already have something there. Look at that. That's so cool. All right. Love it. All right. There's a little hair hiding in the hair. No pun intended. Brush hair. All right. Time to re-establish everything. I think eyes are a great thing to establish, so we found our midpoint in the image. Chin is right at that kind of midway point. Got it? Where are the eyes? If I take the middle, it's almost on the fourth. Almost. Yeah. So we are just about there. I don't want to overdo this, but eyebrow. So I laid in that eyelash. This isn't going to be exact. And now I'm referencing. Ooh, we can do this. Look at that. That's a cool technique. So where eyelash here, where's the eyebrow fall in relevance to there? Somewhere around here. I bet you money I will change this a few times. What angle does that come over at? And really, you have this upper eyelid, and then you have all this there. Without developing too much, you have here. Now, let's check a point. That eye should be almost centered, just over. We are on point with that. There's water running all over my palette right now. Don't want to overdo that. So I'm gonna wet this down. We're gonna work within that. Look at how we're basically doing watercolors right now. I've never used blending the paint with my finger like that. It's just working, I'm just running with the moment. Cool, so let's now figure out let's just start sketching everything out real quick. Okay, so from here, we've already established the eye. Let's start creating some good reference points. We got this hair that does this. We have more hair, more strands, right? See how much faster this brush is compared to using. This is a little low. We're probably gonna try to pick that up. I wonder, oh yeah, know your medium. There's a technique you'll only learn on paint night tonight. Look at that, love it, cool, that's good. Because this, I see now, slightly higher. And we're dialing in. Okay, what direction? Let's see, let's be sure. Yeah, that can even come up just a little bit higher. Love it, and then there's a strong angle. This is over the nose. It's a strong angle. That creates the tilt of her hair. Ooh, and we're connecting to this reference, so we are not far off. We are sitting really good. All right, here, eyebrow is slightly lower than this one. See how this eyebrow is lower than this eyebrow, and that's what I'm taking into consideration as I bring that. And now, this forehead's gonna come out a little bit. Let's keep this technique going. Yeah. All right, it's enough to help me get that right position. And then it concurs in. Her eye comes in. Oh, love it. And then let's pay attention to the angle that this is going, and we can clean up even more. Love it. She has this amazing shape with her cheek here. Let's block in. Let's figure out our nose. How far down is that, right? So let's figure out a few things. We got these eyes blocked in, nose here. I'm gonna go really light. Not only am I just trying to tint this shadow in, I'm also, it starts at the point here. So these are the plumb lines, guys. I said I was gonna be using this. I'm holding this up, I'm seeing her eye, which I've established, and trying to find out where the nose falls in relevance to this pupil right here. And it falls right under there. And so I'm trying to build the shadow from that. This may not be 100% correct. I don't care at this point in time. I'm just building shadows in, paying attention to angles as I build those in. This comes down, over. Here, what's the distance in between? What's the angle of this shadow? Curves this direction right here. How much distance to the lip? About here. What angle is this lip going? Where does the lip end? Plumb line. It ends almost at the back of this eyelid. So I think the eyelid can, let's establish this so we have a good reference point. And that means the mouth, oh, there's so much character in just the shape of the mouth and some of the subtle little details. But what am I doing? I'm slowing down, so let's speed up, right? Let's don't do what's so easy to do here. And there's light on that lip, so let's paint the shadow below it to bring it out. Let's finish it. Coming up here. There's a shadow on there. When we establish the dark shadow in there, it's gonna come to life. The other big thing I'm seeing is this angle. I wanna be sure I get that. I'll say my drawing I did not have that right. Down and across. There's a lot of way to do portraiture, guys. I find a lot of guys out there using projectors. I won't lie, when I first started, before I was painting, and I did kind of a mixed media, airbrush, watercolor, all that, I used one, and that was great. It was helping me figure out how to use the airbrush when I used to airbrush and not worry about drawing. But man, now, this is where you want to be. All right. So, what do we got? What do we got? Let's back up. Where are we at? Let's establish some more hair, because these will create great reference points. Love it. Roman, you're so quiet. What's going on, man?
Actually, I was about to ask you a question.
Ah, there he is.
So, how did you get started in all this, or what inspired you in portraiture?
Portraiture. So, my best friend, who you guys have seen in here from time to time, Brock, we met in art class, and there's always, what's the best thing about your best friend? You love to create, you love to challenge each other. And he had created a portrait of a really good friend of ours, and he did an amazing job. And it was like, all right, challenge accepted, game on. So I did one of my first portraits out of high school and all. And it was neat. Something had clicked. There was this whole new, I remember my old art teacher, Mrs. Hanson. She used to always go, don't draw the lines, draw the shadows, draw the highlights, right? And so that was it. It was always shading, don't draw a line. And I failed miserably in high school when I tried to do a portrait. And something clicked. And I stopped drawing lines, as I'm not drawing any lines here, and I started just highlights and shadows. And it came to life, and it was amazing. So, did my first one outside of that, and Little Miss Hanson in my head, in my mind, and it was awesome. So good friend, Brock, inspired, challenged me, and everything Mrs. H had taught me started to come into play, and I fell in love, with the beauty of how God created us. You know, we're created in God's image. And that's hard to wrap your head around when there's so many people out there, right? So all these unique little beauties, I think portraiture just shows you the beauty of God and His creation. And, you know, we were the final creation. So, and woman was the final creation. He created man, and there was something missing, and so then He created woman, and that was it. You guys got the best of all worlds or something. I don't know. I'm trying to pay a compliment, but yeah. Anyways, what I'm saying, you did a good job. All right.
Well done.
Yeah, there you go. So, I think it's fascinating. I think we get to see the beauty of God through staring at everyone, every culture, every race, you know, that's all part of it. And it's just fascinating to me. I think my favorite thing are all the unique quirks and details within people. And it's funny because half the time those are the things they don't like about themselves, but I find those the most interesting and the most beautiful. So, we're dancing around this. I'm playing kind of safe. We're going to get bolder and bolder. Stay loose, stay loose. shapes, angle. It's funny because there's going to come a point where every little minor touch just really dials in to our subject right here. As we get darker and darker, we can clean up some of these minor little nuances and finesses. We'll definitely have to get back because one little thing can be a rhinoplasty and totally change it. So if something's wrong right now, don't worry. We're gonna go in. We've dropped a bunch in, so let's come in, let's play around. Let's hit these dark points. Guys, what's the secret of hair? Don't draw individual hairs. Come in and look for darks, lights, and start blocking in those darkest values. We start light so that we can, I'm still using references. I'm seeing how far is this little dark shape. You heard Edson talk about that all weekend long. Shape, 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 shape. What's that shape? Right? Boom, boom, boom. Love it. All right. While we're loose, let's sketch out some other stuff. Actually, I see a lot of lines right here, right? So let's start cleaning this up. This is how we start to throw this back. Here's something to take in consideration. We're so close to here, and her hair really, how far does it come out? That's a good question. As far as the canvas, we're about the right distance out, but what I see, I want to water down and fill out this area. And there's something dancing around right here. I think if I can practice what I preach, what I'm looking for is the relationship of how far from here to here. So we are about that midway point, right? How far down in reference to the space of here in the chin. This, oh, come on. Top of this blouse is somewhere around here, angle, here, good, and let's water it down, and let's find, nope, too strong, a little more water, lots of water, good, we can do that, cool, yes. It ends, a lot of times I say find that end point and then connect the dots, but I don't want to kill the style. I don't want it to go all the way down. So look what I did, just wiped away with my thumb real quick, cool. Those don't look natural, so let's take a lot of water. And now we're going to create that bleeding effect. That's part of this new style. See how we recovered that real quick? That was pretty cool. I like it a lot. So, staying light, getting our points in. The nose, eye, things a little strong, but we're going to clean that, and it's going to be really nice once we clean it. I'm looking at angles. This can come up just a hair. And the other thing I'm seeing right now is shadows. There's a good shadow in here that we have to distinguish that is not hair. So I want it in between, although hair may not be at its full darkness at this point in time. Oh, this shadow carries on and shapes her chin. I keep adding water. And look what's neat. I can go over previous strokes because they're already dry, right? There's something going on this cheek. We gotta be careful. Gotta be very subtle with how we establish that. And it doesn't connect here. Oh, every little subtle thing can create an expression in here. Look how light we're working right now. Let's fill this in. And there, you did so good. Boo-boo, we fixed it. All right. A lot of shadows in here, a lot of shading under that lip, under that chin. It's funny because working this wet, we can actually lift still wet paint, and you can create extra layers. This is where oil might be a little more forgiving because we can move it more than add another layer. All right. Let's speed up. Let's speed up. Let's speed up.
I'm going to jump in real quick.
Yeah, man.
I got some comments to read here.
Sure.
Our most recent comments are from Charlie Lorenz.
Charlie!
It says, time to have a drink.
Time to, oh, hey, that's a great advice.
And then Nicole Dennis says, Heidi says hello.
Oh, what's up, Heidi?
And then Caroline says, that's right. Find the beauty in everything. It's there, just keep on looking.
Very much so.
And then last comment that just came in from Rosie. She says, I love to watch you work.
Oh. Is that Rosie Clemente?
Yes, it is.
Hey, long time. Good to hear from you. All right, so what do we see here? I see some really cool angles right here that's really going to establish. Okay, we establish this guy here. Loose, loose style. Here it comes. Here it comes. Let's go back to that Degas real quick. Let's look at that. Holy loose. Holy style. I mean, if you guys lean into that little iPhone, look at those details, look at those faces. They are, I mean, from a distance, here's this beautiful ballerina, but gosh, he is so loose. He had to do that so fast. I hear you, Degas, speed up. I know, I got it. All right, here we go. Edgar's talking to us from the other side. All right, so I'm gonna do something you don't always see me do. I'm gonna step back for a second. Here we go. Stepping back because I wanna see what stands out. I know I have to shape. I've shortened her forehead. I can extend that up. This is what we see when we actually step back. That's gonna do a lot for us. That's why other areas might seem off, because the nose in relationship to the distance to the mouth to the chin is actually pretty close. The forehead got shortened a little bit. So the challenge in this will be bringing in white to make this work. This is where it might get a little funky in this stage, but I think we're gonna end up bringing in some oil towards the end, and I'll be able to clean up and create a balance. The trick to painting, guys, is to have continuity throughout the entire piece. When I lay this white down on here, it's the first time I've overlapped white on top of blue. It's gonna have its own unique look to it. That's gonna stand out. I'm not looking at this new swirl mixture. I'm looking at value and shape. At the end, I'll probably glaze oil across the entire thing, and that will then create one continuity across the entire painting. But, yeah. Yeah. There she is. All right. I see you. Although, before we do that, let's try something else. Let's try to erase some acrylic with some water. It doesn't hurt, it ain't. So this is kind of dry. So we're teaching and trying and experimenting right now. As I rub this in, we're starting to lift some areas. Those are probably the areas that were a little thicker and still wet. There's two ways we can try to get around this. So we can do this technique. I think I saw this in the moment, because this is probably the right point, and this is probably where the hair should start. Distance-wise, yes. And then I accidentally went a little low, angle, forehead. So I think it's too dry, so we're not going to fully get away with that. But another thing we could do before we go there, so we could reestablish with darks, and I'm tempted to cut the brush in half. Again, it's that time, right? We talked about this. So, I call them mini brush. Number 4, here we go. So in essence, we're sketching again. Oh, forehead, forehead, forehead. We're not off by much at all. Ooh, that glob is cool. Something else is going on here. Angle, darkness. Okay, let's be sure. So this farthest point matches the top of her forehead. It comes in a hair and then smooths out. This is what Edson does so well. He actually will simplify it. And it's really neat to see. He really cleans it up. I'm looking at angles. Just a little dip in her nose, and then final part. Nose, actually, where does it come out? The final point of her nose comes out to this part of the eyelid. So, goes there. Cheek comes down, in, to top of the lip. Now that value makes more sense. So again, see how we're, it's not wrong, I'm just not ready for it. It actually is the right value. Let's work around that. Yes, yes, yes.
So Phil, quick question for you.
Yes, sir.
Do you prefer live models or photographs?
Working for my photography. So it is fun. It's a whole experience to create from a live model, but every time they go repose, that hair is going to change on you, and there's all these new challenges that come into play. I really like how we're getting all the shapes in here. So no, great question. Upward angle. So as much as I laid that in there, I know that there's this angle that we have to capture. And that actually sets up, oh, there's some stuff in here we gotta do. Top of the eyelid, other point of the eyelid, coming out. One's high, ooh, I see a lot actually. We have to drop that whole eyelid. Look what I just saw, guys. So we have this eyelash and eyelash in line, and really, this is below that. But it's okay, because this can now turn into the top of the eyelid, which is in line with that. And that actually balances out the spacing. So let's do that. It's a whole puzzle, guys. That's really what we're doing here. We're just putting together a really large puzzle. And it's these subtle little nuances. And there's all these unique angles. Degas going, loosen up. I hear you, Degas, back off, I'm painting here. All right, the real placement of the eyelid. What direction? It has a downward tilt to it. Changes the whole look. We lay down in parts of the puzzle. We don't see exactly how they pan out. Man, the start of her eye is really all the way over here. It kind of blends into the background. And what's neat is the bottom of her eyelid comes into play. It's an interesting look. Something else is about to make a big change. I'm gonna do it kind of subtly. I feel like if you nail the eyes, you got the whole piece. Just do. If you don't nail the eyes, guess what? You lost it all. It cuts across here. What's our distance? That makes sense. So this has to come in. And this is where, as much as I'm fighting bringing some white into here, it's getting tricky to do what we need without doing that. All right, loose, draw. See what we're doing again? And we're refining. Roman, how far are we into this piece? Just so I can...
So we're about 45 minutes into it.
Wow, very cool. Love it. Favorite parts of these pieces are cool little details like that hair. That's so cool. Angles, shapes, right? Another little fold of hair. And we're just following the roadmap we already created. We don't have to stay in there, and I love that. I love when we don't. Boom, and cool. Loose, loose, loose.
So we got a question from Caroline that came in.
Yeah.
And she said, that's what I was going to ask. I was always taught to start with the eyes so you get that right. Is that true?
I think so, because you can base everything from there. So I'll just say yes. I'm right there with you. And see how we can just kind of slowly build the shadows in there once we've established those things? We have so many great reference points, and that's why it's easy to bounce around. Is this a sensitive, delicate place? Because what's going to make this come to life is when we bring that highlight right on this side of the eye. And here's another secret. Eye's not white in this area. Both these eyes are not white. They're actually shaded. They're in the shadow. So as much as we go, eye's white, and we leave it, look at your reference. Paint what you see, not what you think you see. The paint's laying down weird right now. It's wet, so I'm more lifting. There we go. All right. And there's a shadow back here. Cool. Good. Come on, brush. I'm gonna get this brush to just start moving. Cool. If I can do that, then it doesn't matter if a loose stroke is off, because we're gonna start getting some style coming into this. Oh, this is it, guys. You guys have seen me do this before when I start switching over from left side to right side of the brain. Look at how the brush is starting to move. We have enough dots. We can create this loose style that will start to have continuity if we keep it going. It will be easier with the oil, but we're going to take it as far as we can with the acrylic. There's a shadow there. Careful, wrong angle will change the expression. We're shading. What do we do there? Very cool. All right. Oh man. There's a lot of shade in here. Cool. Love the drips, love the looseness. I think what would be neat, I think we have enough hair established, and we have, like, again, a lot of finessing is going to come in here. I really want to check this one more time, hit all my major shadows. It's going to be sure that we have all these in the right proportions, and then, all right. Plumb line, where does the shirt start? It starts at the edge of the chin, right here, so hair in there. And now let's pay attention to angles and distance. Here, over. How about where does it end? That's always a good way to figure out. So again, that chin was kind of midway. And now if I'm dividing from the chin down, the shirt is kind of at almost a third, but not quite. So let's also go really watered down. So chin, 1/3, 2/3, slightly up, and that's around where the shirt should end. It's swooping. And then it comes up. Cool. And to keep our style going that we previously had, I'm going to water it down and blur it out. Because I like that. I like what we're doing there. And now, really watered down, extremely watered down. We're going to bring some subtleties. Okay, let's work the shadow of her neck. Chin's here. We have this unique shadow here. We already have some of this hair. Cool. I like it. Let's reestablish this part of her neck playing off the hair. Should be right around here. And that's where you might go, oh, the highlight's here. Well, we can reestablish what a highlight is by just reestablishing the shadow. Now, how far down does this go? Right? And then there's some more shadows over here. And again, I like this watered down style, so let's play around with that. But I think it needs to end there. Oh, look at that technique. You just learned that here. All right. There is a hair shadow going on right here, which is really cool. I was a little scared to put paint on there. There she is. Awesome. 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 Again, once I darken this hair here, this will look like a shadow. Love what's going on there. Let's get a little braver and darken this because that's what it really needs. And sometimes that's all it's missing. So the other things that I'm seeing that we need to just get braver on, so we're gonna jump back, we're gonna jump up a brush, is darkening in some of this hair over here. We'll do it with kind of a wash, so we didn't get too dark, but it's gonna re-establish slowly building up. That was a bittersweet idea because now that's wet, doesn't want to take the paint. But see how we just tinted that and now we really established that as hair. Light to dark or dark to light, whatever you want. It's however you like to approach. I'm not going to say one way is better than the other. Cool, cool beans. Very cool. All right. Love it. Awesome. And let's go back to sketching that shirt. So we've built this out to here. We have a little bit of shoulder coming. Cool. We went strong, so let's water it, although I kind of like that strong. And I want to keep the continuity of that, so we drip it. See how we took that hard line, guys? And we could create a new style by getting real sketchy and drawing all these hard lines. And actually, you see that on the ballerinas. It might be something that I come back and do at the end. Or, continuing on this little drippy style, which I like what's going on here, I went in and had a hard edge, hit it with some water, and now it continues that same style. Continuity. Not saying we can't switch, but for right now, I don't want to switch. I've created a reference line with the shadow here. I'm not positive it's in the right spot, so let's start plumb lining. We have the eye almost at center. Now that ear is not in the middle of that. It is eye center, good. Here, and then the ear is about here. Oh, we are really close to where this was supposed to be, but we're reestablishing it. Now that's right. And I wanted that because it's time to put just a little bit of that shadow right here. We got thick, so we're gonna water it down. It plays different, and I'm going to fade it off by just using more and more water. Cool, so we've established it, and we blend it off. I don't think that was something I was doing back then. I didn't understand. But again, this is more of an acrylic technique than it is an oil technique. So there's different ways I was approaching that back then. So here I went even stronger, but again, we just water it down. And another trick might be where we lay down a little extra, just grab a bigger brush, and we can fade it away with that. But there is a shadow over here, and I want to start bringing that into play. So see how we had those strong shading lines, and treating it almost like watercolor. We wet it, we bled it out, we grabbed a bigger brush, so we would kind of get rid of those lines. I want to subtly, I don't know if I want to bring in the cleavage or not. I care more about, and the reason I'm questioning it is more of I want this to fade away at this point in time. So if I start bringing in a shadow in here, I like the fade away of what's going on with this. So to me, it's more important that I build out the dress itself. So we see a shadow here. I'm not so much concerned about the line. Mrs. Hanson, don't paint the lines, right? We're gonna paint the shadows. And now this stands out. And there is kind of a shadow line. Oh, that was too much, but that's okay. Water it down and bleed it out. Look how we faded that. That was really cool. And that established that nice line like there. I meant to do that. Yeah, that was all planned right there. Just showing you how to do it. Okay. I don't know who believes that. Love it. Look at, I love that. That's awesome. So here's something going on probably subconsciously in me. I never worked in acrylics and oils until I was about 25. Guess what I grew up doing? Pastels and watercolors. And I think that's why I like taking acrylics and doing this kind of watercolor approach to it. So let's see here. We've established this. Let's run with it. Is it far out enough? Yes, it is. It's to the hair. Good. See how we're using our lines? Now, what angle? And really, did we come in too much? Maybe, maybe not. Again, reestablish this line. Chin, about this point. Ooh, I was right. We did come in a little too far. It's okay. We know, hopefully it's, I don't know what's still wet there, but. See, it is not. It's a bunch of no-nos in what I just did there. But we got a style that lets us do it, so we're good. But we did find a line that was off. And so one more time, straight up and down, where does this shirt? Oh no, it is right on the cusp, right here. We ain't off by much if we're off. Although it might come over a little more and then down. In reference to that hair, it's not really off. I think we had it. I drew the hair down a little bit. Okay. Degas is saying, go for it, my friend. Why he sounds like the Dos Equis guy, I don't know. How historically correct that is, I don't know. But I like it. Degas could have been one of the most interesting people alive. I'm not paying attention to the shadow. I'm trying to pay attention to the shape of the doily part of her shirt. I don't know if it's officially a doily, but it's very doily-esque. Shadows, shadows. All right. From the hair right here, there's a really nice shadow. Let's just paint some shadows right now. Roma, where are we sitting in time?
We are just over an hour.
1 hour. I don't know how much longer we're gonna go here. I really want to concentrate as I get into those details. Oh, let's see here. Distance. This should be under the chin. All right. Right. And that's so important because I'm trying to establish where the shirt starts, and it's kind of, it's at this top lip. So, and it's on a certain point of the doily shirt. There. And then, cool, we actually made that work. Is that right? Tip of the nose. Jeez, that's real close. I like it. So we're gonna run with it. Yeah, we planned that. All right, but let's keep our style going. So let's drip it off. It's drippy. And then we fade this in so it matches there. We could try to do some of these folds. It starts here. I like it. There's another little shadow detail. Cool. All right, we gotta do that stand back thing. Actually, we put that image back up. I didn't even know you had the image there. I like it. Holy cow. All right, guys, I love what we're seeing here. As far as capturing the essence, yes. Detail, no. I've got to slow down and put that in there. It's one thing to do the detail of a seascape. I don't know. We're getting there to where I can do this detail and do that portraiture, but we're also an hour in, so I might pause here, but I love what we've created, actually this is a good point for me to step back, reevaluate everything, come back in with the finer, smaller brush. Probably this is a 4, I'll go to a 2. And I will redefine everything again. But I think we've really captured the essence. As far as the shapes, the shadows, the angles. I love the drip style that we brought into this. I might let this completely dry, and now I'll come in with that oil. And I'll have a lot more control of bringing maybe the light back into it and all. It's gonna have a whole different feel. So if you want to see me continue on this, let me know. If you want to see a portrait style or a figurative or ballerina-esque style, if you want to see something like that come out, let me know. I'm on the edge of running that way, inspired by Edson in that last show. But do we have anything to show these guys before we head out? Was there, I feel like we had something.
We might have one more.
What do we got?
One answered question.
Oh, sure, what do you got?
So you've shown us a lot of your monochromatic works, but do you have any like full color portraits?
Yes, so I think we did prepare something. So evolution of the monochromatics. This was one of the first acrylic with oil glazed over. And that was a commission of a friend of mine's girlfriend at the time. And so, yeah, that was me going, all right, let's try to do realism. Let's take this acrylic glazing with oil approach over, and that's where we got with that. So I love that. And it's cool, it's stylistic. I think the style's really evolved here. Now there is a style. That was just a portrait kind of floating, and it was unique in itself to see that realism. But I love this bleeding style amongst this, and now, again, we'll come in and we'll detail it out, pop out highlights. I'm excited. So let us know if you want to see this on the next paint night tonight, or who knows? I'm always running with my mood, so we'll see what we create. And thanks for being here tonight, guys. Thursday, tune in. Stephen Courtley, we're going to be here talking about the show coming up. I believe it's the weekend of May 31st. I think we got a flyer for, yeah, there is. So May 28th, 29th, 30th, and 31st. It's a 4-day weekend, so we got them for 4 days. The VIP event is going to be dueling pianos here at the Paint Night Tonight location. And then we will have 3 days down at the gallery. So call the gallery, get your RSVP in. We're gonna have a lot of fun painting over here. I think there might be there's gonna be dueling pianos. There might be a dueling paint off. And we got a few other really cool ideas for the show over the weekend. So tune in Thursday, 7:30, and we'll see you guys then. Thanks for being here tonight. I love it.